tepid applause. The obligatory tepid applause. Elliot. Good afternoon. Thanks for turning up and making it down into the underground 4 dungeon. You'll be pleased to know that we're not here today to announce David's new fitness DVD, reality TV program, iPhone app, clothing range, or anything else. We're actually here today to talk about David's comeback at the Manchester Arena, a superb venue, on June 29th. Against an opponent that I'm yet to secure, who will be highly ranked. Last year, David made his first comeback against Derek Chisora, one that he felt he had to do to settle a score. He did so with a fantastic 5th round knockout. Since then, he and I have both sat and waited to see if the Klitschkos would be interested in another fight with David. In absence of any communication from their side, or any willing from their side, David's decided that he doesn't want to sit around anymore, twiddling his thumbs and making fitness DVDs. He wants to be a fighter again. He wants to fight twice this year against highly ranked contenders to put himself in an unavoidable position to be the mandatory challenger and contender to one of the brothers. He's not waiting anymore. He's going to fight his way into position. That's enough from me. Thank you for attending, and I'll pass over to David.
Hey guys, thank you for coming down today. I think Adam hit all the points there. I want that heavyweight title back. I want to be the heavyweight champion again. I was hoping that Vitaly would be a man of his word and fight me after I did what he and his team asked me to do. Fight Derek Chisora, if the winner fights Vitaly. That obviously didn't happen. He chose Manuel Char over myself. I believe my performance against Derek Chisora wasn't what they were wanting. They were hoping for a tough fight, you know. But I made a pretty short work of that, knowing I'd do that. And here we are today. We've been sitting around, you know. I've been obviously busy doing what I'm doing, but you know, waiting for the phone to ring from Team Klitschko, but that hasn't happened. We've sent some, you know, made some phone calls, sent some emails, but no, it fell on deaf ears. You know, they haven't even sent back saying, no, David, we thank you for asking, but we don't want to fight you. It's just been absolutely no communication. So I believe, you know, they've got their strategy, their path, and it doesn't include me in this year. So instead of sitting around waiting a whole another year, I want to get back in there. And the Manchester Arena is a venue which, you know, I've had great nights at. You know, John Ruiz, Audley Harrison, my 2 heavyweight title defences were both at the Manchester Arena, and you know, packed out house, both of them, and it was they were great nights. So I want some of that. I want some of that again. The fans all over the world, wherever I travel to, people want to see me back in the ring and say, when you back? When can you see you back in the ring, throwing your haymakers? Well, June 29th, they'll be able to see me do it, and I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back in proper training, and I want that heavyweight title back, and I will get it. You know, whenever I've set a target for myself, I've always achieved it in life, and this situation is going to be no different. You know, you've got two heavyweight champions who both don't look very interested in fighting me. They're fighting other guys who I believe are, you know, inferior to myself, who don't have the name brand that I bring, don't have the viewing figures that I bring, and money. So that tells you that, you know, it tells you, in my opinion, what they're in this game for. But you know, good luck to them. They're both great champions, and I want to put myself in a position to take that title. And I'm happy where I am, and I'm really looking forward to getting back in there and putting on a great fight for my British fans. There you go, and breathe.
Tickets for June 29th are on sale as of now from the website. Eventum. Get that right? .co.uk. Open to the floor now. Any questions for David?
Pardon? A possible opponents, I'll leave that to Adam.
There's five that I'm talking to at the moment. All of them ranked in the top 15, 4 of them unbeaten.
It'll be someone who will, ideally, our styles will gel. I want someone who's going to throw punches. I don't want to go out there against someone very defensive. I want to get out there and put on a good show. And I think I'll leave that down to Adam to get the right guy in.
Will you be promoting it, David?
Yes, Haymaker Promotions will be promoting the event.
Have you a TV deal?
No, there's no TV partners. I'm sure that somebody will broadcast it, but the most important thing for us was to secure the venue, now get the opponent, and for David to fight. He's had a lot of fans over the last year borderline harassing him, wanting him to fight again, and I get some of it as well. And he's made the decision. He's waited around. He's been champion, and he's got that celebrity status. But now he wants to be a fighter, and as his coach, I'm excited about that. So as long as we've got the venue, the crowd, and an opponent, we're happy.
Are any of those 5 opponents you're talking to British fighters?
No.
Great members of the arenas you mentioned, David.
Pardon?
You've got great members of
Yes.
the youth arena. What excites you about coming back on the most?
Just giving the fans an answer every day, maybe 100 to 200 times a day. People are just walking up in the street. When you fighting again? What date you fighting? When can I come and see you fight again? Strangely, a lot of them are people who haven't actually seen me fight live. I've kind of reached out to a different sort of demographic now. After doing a TV show that I did last year, a lot more kids are asking me when you're fighting, because they've seen me on YouTube, but they haven't seen me, in a big fight with all the hype surrounding it. So that's a nice opportunity for me to, do what I do best and knock someone out for the millions of fans around the world.
David, the fight against Chisora seemed like a one-off. Does this feel like a proper comeback now?
Yeah, the Chisora was exactly that. It was a carrot dangled by Vitaly Klitschko to say, okay, you beat Derek Chisora, and we fight the winner. If you can listen back to the footage. We have Bernd Bunter, his handler, or the puppet master of the team, saying exactly what to do. So he said, you David fight Chisora and we fight the winner. Okay, I knew it would be a good fight. The British public wanted to see it. It was an interesting fight. Derek was a very tough guy. He had the type of style that could give many people problems. He even gave Vitaly Klitschko a very tough fight, a hard night's work. So people knowing how good Vitaly Klitschko is, when it came down to him fighting me, people wanted that measuring stick. They would say, okay, you went 12 rounds with Vitaly in a tough fight. Let's see how you deal with it. A lot of people actually tipped Derek to beat me before that. They thought I was soft, or I've been out of the ring for a year, or whatever their excuses, whatever their reasons were. But when it came to it, that was the whole idea of the fight. I didn't take the Derek Chisora fight just to win it, to get this, to get a shot. Winning on points was never an option. I said that to anyone that had listened, that the fight wouldn't go past 6 rounds. I knew, if I was on form, which I was, I was injury-free, I was training had gone smooth, sparring had gone very well. So we knew, all the pieces of the puzzle were set, and it was all about going out there and getting the job done in half the time, less than half the time that Vitaly could do it. And I was very happy with the performance. The crowd there was happy, although it was raining pretty hard and a lot of people got wet. A lot of people wet in the right way, put that way.
Also, prior to the Derek fight, we agreed.
a few rumbles there, delayed reaction.
We accepted and agreed for David to fight Vitaly in September, knowing full well that David could beat Derek and fight again 2 months later. The day after, I think it was, David beat Derek.
Yeah.
They decided to announce Mamor Cha as visited his opponent, saying that they didn't have enough time to promote a fight with David if he were going to fight in July. But ironically, they then did their press conference after David knocked out Derek. So, you know, they say that we didn't want the fight. They say that we turned the fight down. That's not true. The truth is we accepted it, but because David fought Derek and knocked Derek out, they decided to go with Manuel Charles.
David, did you find life boring without boxing?
No, life's pretty exciting, to be honest. Not at all. You know, like, boxing's been a major part of my life since I was 10 years of age. You know, going to the gym every day. You know, putting your body through it. You know, I'm still training, but you know, obviously not to the intensity that I do when in training camp. But you know, it's people, the general public, you know, people I've never met in my life feel so strongly about wanting me to come back. You know, they keep saying, "Oh, but you got so much left to give," and they're right. You know, I've got no miles on the clock. There are fighters out there, heavyweights out there. You can say, "Oh, this heavyweight, he's got a few miles on the clock." I don't believe I'm one of them. You know, I can't. You'd be hard pushed to find any one of my one fights where I've taken 20 big punches in any fight I've ever had in the 28 fights I've had. So, you know, I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm in a place where I believe I'm a couple of fights away from putting myself in that unavoidable mandatory position to one of the Klitschko brothers. Whether once I am in that mandatory position, whether they fight me or not, then it remains to be seen. But it will then put the spotlight on why they're not fighting me. Instead of, they can say through their press releases and through Bunter saying, "Oh, we're doing this, we're ducking that, contract term this." They keep trying to spin the public perception of the fact that I'm somehow ducking them, even though that's all I've been trying to do since I've won my cruiserweight unification fight against Enzo Maccarinelli. All I've done is bark on about how I've wanted to win the heavyweight title and unify the championship. So I'm here. I think the people who know anything about boxing know I'm in it for the right reasons, and I don't have to box. That's the difference between myself and a lot of the other heavyweights out there. A lot of other heavyweights have to fight to pay the mortgage, to pay the bills. I'm a fortunate case where I'm in it because I genuinely want to do it. You know, I don't need to do it. I want to win that title back, and I think it's a position that, you know, I'm very comfortable with and happy, and I'm willing to put my body through the pain of a hard training camp to secure this fight.
What's your gut feeling about Vitaly Klitschko? Do you think he wants to box again?
I think he wants to fight me, but I think the people around him don't. I think his coach, I know for a fact his coach doesn't want him to fight me. I know there's been a lot of money invested in him to be the next, you know, mayor of Kiev, and if he has a fight against myself, and let's just say he was to be knocked out or he was to be beaten in any way, shape or form, that would harm his political aspirations. You know, he won't be the big dominating force that he's recognised as, you know, in Ukraine. I don't believe that's. I don't believe it's him, but I think he's allowing his people to manipulate his career. He likes to make out that he's in charge, but I know Bernd Bunter, you know, has the final say. And even if you watch the press conference back when I was directing questions at Vitaly after his fight against Derek Chisora, Vitaly Klitschko didn't say a word. It was all Bernd Bunter was answering for him. You know, I always back in the day, a couple of years ago, I thought Vitaly was the man. I thought he made the decisions. He was running the show. But as time's gone on, you know, I've kind of realised that, you know, he's the puppet, and his team are the ones who are pulling the strings. And I'm hoping that maybe he puts his foot down one day and says, "No, you know, I'm the fighter, I'm the man. I've generated you guys all this money. Let me have a fight for myself, for my legacy." And there's nobody else out in the heavyweight division other than fighting his brother, which he's clearly said he's not going to do. I don't believe there's anybody else out there in the world that could give him that legacy fight that I know he desperately craves, because he hasn't had that. The biggest fight he's had is against Lennox Lewis, and he lost. So if he wants to go out there and become the mayor or the president or whatever it is in his political career, you know, I believe, if looking from his side, a victory over me would be the best way to go. But unfortunately for him, I punch back, and I punch pretty hard, and I don't get hit that much, and I'm young, and it doesn't really match up to his qualities at the moment.
If you're going to fight twice this year, do you think you're a better fighter when you're in a ring more regularly?
I'm not a worse fighter, that's for sure. No, I've never been a big believer in the whole ring rust reason. When after people box poorly, they say it's because I haven't boxed for too long. I understand it; it makes sense. You know, you need to get in there and go through the motions. But then, looking at my career, some of my good performances have been when I've been in the ring regularly. You know, 2 or 3 months. I remember fighting Jean-Marc Mormec for the undisputed cruiserweight title, which was a tough fight. And how long after was the fight Enzo Maccarinelli? How long was that? A couple months? 3 months?
4 months.
4 months. Was it
4
4
months. Yeah.
4 months later, I boxed them to unify the titles. You know, 4 months for a heavyweight is a long time. So I believe if training goes well, isn't it? I will be a better fighter for it. It won't harm my my chances of performing at my best by fighting twice in a year. Sounds crazy saying that, doesn't it? Fighting twice in a year, I think it will benefit me. As if you look at my schedule thus far in the last couple of years, it's been fighting once a year, and but I've been sharp. I haven't turned up for any of those fights, you know, out of shape or timing way off, getting hit with loads of shots. You know, I'm a big believer in, you know, speed and timing and reactions. And if in sparring, if I'm getting good quality sparring, then I seem to translate that into the fight very well.
Adam, did you not look for London? Did you? Or just couldn't get one?
It wasn't that we couldn't get one. There's two factors that made us, well, 3 that made us decide the MEN. Firstly, we have a really good relationship with them from before. Secondly, David's profile and celebrity status means that he has an equal amount of fans all around the country. And thirdly, the size of the venue, that because Manchester can hold 19,000 and it's as close to the centre of the country as we can get a venue like that, all of the reasons made it perfect sense to go back to Manchester.
Good memories of Manchester. Great facilities, great buzz in the arena, and I'm looking forward to getting some of that back. Having another great night down there.
Can I just ask if that 2 fights process is both signed with the Manchester Arena for this year, or could you look elsewhere?
No, we have an arrangement for the Manchester Arena for June 29th. But like I said, we have such a good relationship with them that we didn't consider other venues anyway. We went straight back to them this time, and there's a very good chance that will happen again. They would certainly be the first people that we speak to.
Have you any inkling or ideas of fights will be on the undercard?
No, not yet. No, first thing I've got to do is get an opponent for David.
Could you just outline when this decision was actually made between the 2 of you to make this comeback?
Were you drunk or sober? It was when he was talking about his second DVD, fitness DVD. Enough's enough, Dave.
Yeah.
About a month ago. I didn't believe him. I made him keep saying it for a month before we got here today.
I think it was when the reality of the fact that Vitaly, the lack of communication. You send someone an email in the past, whether it's that they've taken pleasure in saying, no, we don't want to do this, we're K2, we do it. They love that vibe, but when you get nothing back whatsoever, it's okay. They don't want to show their hand whatsoever, so why wait around and, you know, stagnate? You don't have to, you know, when there are plenty of heavyweights willing to give you beaten up by the haymaker. Maybe not willing, but been put in a position to be.
If it goes your way and you get the fight that you want and you win it, how long do you see yourself in the game?
Until I win the title. I believe if the fight doesn't, if I can't get myself into a mandatory position, you know, this year, I'll be surprised by one of the governing bodies. I'll be very surprised, and if I do become mandatory, I believe next year, and I've set myself 2014. Realistically, ideally, if a fight happens later on in the year, great. But you know, you can't rely on someone just giving you a shot, particularly when, you know, I've had the form I've had of late. No champion, or particularly the Klitschko's, want to just free up the opportunity. I'd rather fight someone like whoever he's fighting. Who's he fighting next?
Which one? Vladimir or Vitaly? Vladimir's fighting a guy who is usually a sparring partner, I think.
I know, what's his name?
Never heard of him before.
Okay. Pardon?
There you go.
There you go.
Frank Joseph,
You just
international
Googled
agent.
that, didn't you? You just Googled it. I can see a phone in your hand. You Googled it. So they'll rather fight
Frank.
guys like that who you've got to Google to find out who the guy is.
Is that one of his sparring partners?
Okay. So yeah, but it's easy money. It's easy money. It's easy money for them. I understand why they're doing it. It's just a shame that the RTL don't put their foot down and say, "Come on, guys, give us some value for money here." But obviously they don't, and they're happy with the Klitschko's sort of churning out the usual stuff they do.
This heavyweight boxing and heavyweight championship boxing should be exciting and it should be fun. That's what it's got to be, exciting and fun, not controlling and dull and predictable. And one thing David has brought to the table and is going to bring to the table again is being a fun fighter to watch who definitely delivers excitement because he can bang hard. The only filth. He's gutted, like I am, about the way that he performed against Vladimir, and he knows that he's so much of a better fighter than that, and he's proved he's a much better fighter than that throughout his career, fighting in different styles, taking risks constantly, and delivering a very high knockout percentage. I don't know a heavyweight ranked in the top 10 that has a better knockout ratio than David.
A couple, but they haven't really fought anyone. Any note?
Champions,
okay. Cool.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I wanted him to retire at 30. He did. He then retired at 31. What's the maximum amount of comebacks a fighter's made? If he doesn't get a shot at Klitschko, maybe he can go for that one.
David, you allowed yourself to think that if you'd done this in the first place after you'd lost to Vladimir, that you could be here already? If you'd gone the mandatory route straight away?
Possibly. You never know.
But remember, Bunter said in front of you guys, I tell you what, fight Derek, the winner can fight Vitaly.
Hypothetically, if I would have taken a fight against someone else, guaranteed they would have said, right then, we wanted to fight you, but now you're booked to fight this guy, so we're going another route. He clearly doesn't want to fight us, because we said fight to Chisora, and we fight the winner, now he's fighting this guy. You can see he's ducking us, or something. They'd have done some sort of spin that a few idiot journalists would have kind of jumped on top of and said, yeah, see, David's running from them, or something along them lines. So I didn't fight anybody. I waited for the phone to ring, which it didn't, and I realised, after a year, years is a long enough time to wait for someone not to phone you.
Is there a burning desire to get back in there with Vladimir?
Yeah, of course there is. There has been since straight away. I know what I'm capable of. I'm in there every day. I know what I've got to watch back my sparring. I've watched my fights. I know what I'm capable of. And occasionally, fighters underachieve. Sometimes they don't perform at their maximum. No, it was one of those nights. Very, very rarely does that happen with me, and I'll never anticipate having a bad night and not getting it right. But it happens, and once you accept it, embrace it, and make sure it doesn't happen again. And that's the mindset I'm in. Make sure whatever wrongs need to be righted, and that's what I'm gonna. That's what I've done, and you'll see. And you saw in the Chisora fight, that was the old haymaker, as everyone was saying, was back, and you'll see once again whoever the unlucky soul is that's going to be left in the ring with me on that first bell in the Manchester Arena. You'll see some more of that magic.
Any more questions? Thank you for that. What we'll do now is I'll speak to John and Elliot, and we'll arrange firstly the Nationals, the dailies, and then we'll get the Sundays, and we'll sit down and do. David will spend time with all of you. If you want the interview, if you can just be patient, we'll make sure that we do everybody. I've just got to organise it in the right manner. Thanks very much.